Hi friends. So in the previous tutorial what I did was I created a eco client server program in Python using multi-threading. In this one what I will be doing is that I will be creating the same eco client. So what it means is that the client will connect to the server that I will be creating it. It will receive input, whatever the client sends, and what the server will do is just echo it back. But in the previous one, I showed you guys how to create a multi-threading. So whenever a new client connects, create a new thread for it. What I will be doing in this tutorial is that I will be creating a new process for each client that connects. So for example, I'm running a server right now. So a Windows machine connects to it, sends some output to it, and sends some data to it. It will send it back, and then another machine connects to it. So what it will do is that the server will create a new process for the new client, and then another client connects, and the server will just create a new process. So whenever new clients keep connecting to the servers, new processes will get started. So instead of thread, we will be creating new processes. So uh, this tutorial, what I'll be doing is that I will be going over all this in a very quick manner, because I've created like 5-6 tutorials already in my channel. You can view them. I have explained all these individual parts of this program, how it works or what each line means. So in this one, I will be going over these things very quickly. Um, but if you don't understand, just put your questions in the comment section below, and I will see what I can do. So in here, this is the server that I created in Python. So in the first 3 lines, what I'm doing is that I'm importing it. So I'm importing the socket, sys, and the multiprocessing modules. So in here, I'm creating a function called echo handler. It takes 2 parameters, client socket and address. We are running a while loop. While one, it means like while true. So run this while loop. So what this in here does is that I'm creating a new client. So again, so if you don't understand all these things, just watch my previous tutorials. I've explained them all in detail. So this client data object is in here. I'm creating an object called client underscore data. What it will is doing is that it is receiving. So client.socket underscore receive. So it is receiving data from the client. How much data? 4096. So this is the buffer size, 4096. So it can receive input of about 4096 bytes. And in here we are saying if client underscore data. So what it means is that if there is data that the client has sent to us, what you do is client socket dot send. What? Send this client underscore data. So what it means that whenever the client sends us something, just send it back. In here, the else port, what it does is that we are doing closing it. So close the socket. In here, we are creating an echo server, object echo server. So it is the echo socket.socket. So it's using the socket module and the socket method. The first port socket.af underscore inet. What it means is that it use the IP address family, and socket.socket underscore istream. It means use the TCP family. So it's kind of like use the TCP IP family, which we will be using. So instead of TCP, you can use UDP, but in this case, I'm using TCP. In here, I'm using the previously created echo server object, and I'm binding it to this 0000. So what it means, it's a wildcard. So what it means is that listen on all interfaces. Currently, I have only one interface, ETH0, but maybe you have in your machine multiple interfaces. You have a wireless interface, and you want to listen on all those interfaces. So what you do is you type in all these 000040. It means that listen on all interfaces. But if you have one interface like I have right now, you can also type in the IP address of that interface. Currently, my ETH0 interface has the IP address of 10.0.0.101. So I can type it in here, but you can type 000 if you want to listen to on all ports. I'm using 0000 in this one. So what this 10,013, it means is that it is the listen on this port number. So what this 10,013 is, it's the port number. You can listen on any port. So you can I've typed in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what it means is that listen on port number 12,345, and then I'm in here. I'm saying that uh, listen up to 5 clients for. So what it means that this server can handle up to 5 clients connecting to it. In here, I'm creating the worker processes object, which I'll be using later. So again, I'm using a while loop, and then here I'm creating 2 objects called CSOC and address, and I'm using the echo server dot accept. So what that means that this is the object, the socket object we created previously. or this is this eco server, what this one. So what it does is that the first one, it is this socket object, and the second one, this address, what it does is that it is shows the IP address and the port of the client that will be connecting to it. In here after that, so it says accept the connection from it. This is the line, it says print starting a new process. So what it does is that whenever we receive and accept a connection from a client, just type this. This is how we would know that a new process has been assorted. This is good for demo purposes. And in here we are creating the worker object. We are using the method process. So let me show it. I'm using this one, which I have imported from the multiprocessing. So for this, for the target, I'm typing the echo handler. This is this one that I created, this function that receives data from the client and sends it back. After that, for the arguments, I'm using this socket object, this one, and the this address. This is the IP address and port number. After that, I'm going to be starting this and worker processes dot append. So worker. So what it does is that this starts it, and as new processors, new clients get connected, new processes will be created, and it will just append it to this worker object. So in here, it will just the worker object will get appended to the worker processes. So okay, let me close it. Let's run this Python 3 server multiprocessing. So in here you can see that it's running. So I have netcat running in this Windows machine. So netcat master NC10.0.0.0.101, it is the IP address. So this is the port number. If we connect to it and we type in something like, okay, why is it getting disconnected? nc.exe12345. So let's see this. Okay, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can use any port, it doesn't matter. I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's simpler to remember, so that's okay. Let's run this again. So in here, if we type in something like hello, how are you? So you can see that whatever we type, you receive it back. So in here you can see that when we connected to it, it started a new process, and it is echoing this output to us, starting a new process. So let's go to our Windows machine. Let's start another command prompt. CMD container cd documents, and we go to netcat master nc.exe10.0.0.101 2, 3, 4, 5. So hey again, what up? So in here you can see that once we so you can see that when we connect it again, this time you're starting another process, and in the function you saw that whenever I started a new process, I would output this new line, starting a new process. So whenever a new client will connect to it, a new machine will connect to it, or a new process will connect to it, what it will do is that it will start a new process. In this case, we have connected two processes. So if more machines keep connecting to it, it will start creating new processes. In the previous one, I created a tutorial which showed how to create a new thread for each of the clients that will be connecting. In this one, I showed you guys how to create a server that will create a new process for each new client that will be connecting to this. So this is it for this tutorial, guys. If you have any questions, any suggestions, feel free to put it in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.